we are following a powerful earthquake in central Mexico. It was centered in Puebla State with a preliminary magnitude of 7.1. Tremors could be felt about 120 kilometers away in the capital, Mexico City. No word yet on casualties, but there are reports of collapsed buildings and large cracks in the ground in some places. The quake struck on the anniversary of the 1985 earthquake in Mexico City that claimed 10,000 lives. CGTN's Frank Contreras told us earlier what he experienced in Mexico City.
In the street outside my apartment building, when the earthquake hit, everything started moving, swaying back and forth wildly. Things were falling off the walls. I picked up my dog, she had no collar on, and ran for the door and almost fell down the stairs because they were moving back and forth wildly. We raced out into the street and saw thousands of families here in the neighborhood where I am, out in the streets, pretty much in panic. We stood in the middle of the street on the asphalt, and the ground continued to move very violently. So not only was it powerful, it also lasted a very long time. In the 21 years that I've been in Mexico City, this is by far the most powerful earthquake that I personally have felt. Preliminary reports indicate that it was a magnitude 7.1 earthquake with an epicenter potentially in the neighboring state of Puebla, not far from Mexico City. So that was less powerful than the September 7th earthquake measured at 8.1, but the epicenter was closer, and that's probably why we felt it more powerfully here. People are still out in the streets. We're still trying to ascertain whether there was any major damage to this city or to the cities in and around the epicenter. We'll have more for you later on that here on CGTN. It's Franco Perez reporting from Mexico City. Thank you.
Let's go back to our top story, the powerful earthquake in Mexico, 7.1 magnitude. Frank Contreras joins us on the phone from Mexico City. Frank, before we lose you on the phone, tell us where you are. Where were you when you felt the earthquake?
I'm in the center of Mexico City, ACA. The world started moving back and forth for us just a few minutes ago. In the building I was standing in, things were falling off the wall. I picked up my dog, tried to run out to the street. The staircase was moving. I thought it was going to crack apart. We went out into the street like we usually do when we get an earthquake in Mexico City, and the ground continued to move. It seemed the longest earthquake I have experienced in the 21 years I've been living here. The epicenter was located in a nearby state called Puebla, right next to Mexico City. The magnitude was preliminary measurements around 7.1. That is less than the September 7th earthquake that struck southern Mexico, but because it was so close to the Mexican capital, we felt it powerfully. It was 32 years to the day that a massive earthquake devastated the Mexican capital here, and so people were out in the streets. You could see tears in their eyes, fear. My heart was pounding. I had never felt an earthquake so powerful. We are told there has been damage reported in Mexico City, in the southern part of the capital here. A bridge has collapsed. Major university has suffered damages, the Tec de Monterrey, and also the worst case we're told right now is a school. A school has collapsed entirely, and unfortunately class was in session.
Frank, do you have power? Are you able to see the images we're showing or the images that have been airing on Mexican television?
No, there's no electricity in the area where I am here now. I still see hundreds of people in the streets. We're lucky to have cell phone service, I think. Telecommunications has been quite spotty. We're getting, trying to get phone calls from around the world, people checking to see if we're safe here. So there's a lot of concern at this stage. I am told that out in the major avenues and boulevards, all traffic has been come to a complete stop. Public transportation has been put to a halt by the Mexico City government, so people are not allowed to move around right now. It's quite a moment of quite a bit of fear here. We did see some panic buying in a nearby neighborhood, and a lot of the stores have just shut their doors here, worried that there could be possible looting, things of that sort. So there's a lot of fright here at this moment.
All right, Frank Contreras, we'll let you go and regroup. Thank you so much. Again, this is what we know right now. The magnitude 7.1 earthquake hitting central Mexico, centered in Puebla State. Right now, what we know, at least 2 people dead. There are also reports of a school that has collapsed with students in that school. That's what Frank Contreras told us. That is all we know at the moment. We're going to follow the story and bring you more details, but we should add one more thing that Frank mentioned, which is an eerie coincidence perhaps. This is also the anniversary of the 1985 earthquake in Mexico City that claimed 10,000 lives. So interesting coincidence there.